You're welcome once again to our numeracy class. This is the numeracy class, the mathematics class for grade 4. And I am still your teacher, Mrs. Sanni Moninuola. You're welcome once again. Before we proceed into what we have today, please pause now and click on the like button. Please like this channel, like this lesson, and also remember to click on the subscription button. Subscribe to this channel. One teacher, one topic. Subscribe to our channel. And at the end of the lesson, at the end of every lesson or correction, please remember to drop your comments. This is a quality control measure. Tell us what we are doing that is right. Tell us what you want us to improve upon. This will help us to serve you better. Thank you very much. Let's get started. We are proceeding on the topic we started with, percentages. And this is the part 2. In this part 2, we'll be learning how to change percentages to fractions and vice versa. Vice versa, I mean changing from fractions back to percentages. At the end of this lesson, you should be able to express percentages as fractions in their lowest terms. You should also be able to express fractions as percentages. Let's get started. We now know from our previous lessons that percentages are common fractions whose denominator is 100. By common fractions, I mean the regular type of presentation of fraction as numerator over denominator. Decimals are also fractions. Decimals also contain fractions. The digits you have at the back of the decimal points are fractional parts of the number. So decimals are also fractions, and percentages are also fractions. So when you are asked to name fractions, don't limit yourself to only the common fractions, which are proper fraction, improper fraction. Also know that decimals contain fractions as well as percentages. They are only fractions with different presentations. Yes, the part A of this lesson will be teaching you how to convert a percentage to a common fraction. And there are 3 steps to follow in doing this. 3 steps to follow in converting a percentage to a common fraction. The first step is what we learned previously. When you have a presentation like 19% to be converted to a common fraction, you just have to remember that percentage means out of 100. So 19% is 19 out of 100, which equals 19 over 100. That is very simple from our previous lessons. We can also have percentages with decimal presentation, like what I have here, 62.5. In this step 2, if the percentage you have is in a decimal form, just go ahead and write it as common fraction. 62% means 62.5% rather means 62.5 out of 100, which is simply 62.5 over 100. I hope we remember that. That is similar to step 1, 62.5 over 100. Then you consider the number of digits after the decimal point to know what to use to bring the decimal to a whole number. You know now your numerator is 62.5, which is a decimal. So we want to bring it to a whole number considering the number of decimal places. By number of decimal places, I mean the number of digits after the decimal point. For 62.5, we have just 5 at the back of the decimal point. That is one decimal place. So we will be multiplying the numerator in this case and the denominator by 10. 10 having just 1 0. Because I have just one decimal place, just one figure at the back of the decimal point, I will also be multiplying the numerator and the denominator in this case by 10. 10 having just 1 0. In a case where I have 2 digits at the back of the decimal point, I will be multiplying the numerator and the denominator by 100. 100 having 2 zeros. When I have 2 digits at the back of the decimal point, I will multiply both the numerator and the denominator by 100. When I have 3 digits at the back of the decimal point, I believe you are chorusing with me now that I will be multiplying the numerator and the denominator by 1000. 1000 having 3 zeros, and so on. It goes on and on like that to bring the decimal to a whole number. Okay, there can also be cases where the percentage is presented as mixed number. For example, 5 whole number 1/4. Before we start any proper conversion here, this mixed number must be converted to improper fraction. If I have 5 whole number 1/4%, that means I have to take 5 whole number 1/4 to mixed number before dividing it by 100. You will have more light by the time we start solving numeric examples. Step 3. After you have taken either step 1, step 2, A or B, now step 3 says you should simplify to reduce the common fraction gotten from step 2 to the lowest term. You should not just leave your answer the way we left it in the last correction. Last correction, when we had 36/100, we left it as that. We should reduce it lower. I left it like that purposely because that was just an introductory to the topic. So now let's look at the examples we have here. We are to convert each of the following to a fraction in its lowest term. Whether you are told in its lowest term or not, never leave a fraction that can go lower. Never leave it that way. Always take all your answers to the lowest term. The number 1 question here is 36%. Number 2, 1.24%. Number 3, 26 whole number, 1/4%. That covers all the steps we have discussed ahead. Solutions to the examples. Number 1, we have 36%. 36 is a whole number, similar to the works we have done previously, isn't it? So 36% means 36 out of 100, which equals 36/100. In reducing it to the lowest term, we need to know the highest common factor. I am using the highest common factor. There are other cases where you start with lower factors like 2 divides 36, 18, 2 divides 100, 50. Then you have to divide 18 further, 2 divides 18, 9, 2 divides 50, 25. To make this teaching very neat, to make my work neat, I am using the highest common factor of 36 and 100, which is 4. The highest common factor of 36 and 100 is 4. So I present my 36, my numerator, as 4 times 9, and my 100 is presented as 4 times 25. 4 divides 4, giving me 9 over 25. 9 over 25 is the lowest fraction for 36%. Number 2 is a decimal, 1.24%. 1.24% means 1.24 out of 100, which equals 1.24 over 100. 1.24 is a decimal which has 2 digits at the back of the decimal point. 2 digits are at the back of the decimal point is 2 decimal places. So, to bring 1.24 to a whole number, I have to multiply both the numerator and the denominator by 100. 100 having 2 zeros. 1.24 having 2 decimal places. 100 having 2 zeros. That is how it works. So I have 1.24 times 100 over 100 times 100. Whatever you are doing to the numerator, you must also do to the denominator. If not, you will be changing the entire question. 1.24 times 100 is 124. 100 times 100 gives me 10,000. The highest common factor of 124 and 10,000 is 4. I told you I'll be dividing by the highest common factor to make my work very neat. So here 124 equals 4 times 31, and 10,000 is 4 times 2,500. 4 divides 4, so I have 31 over 2,500. Please don't get it wrong. 4 here in number 1 is the highest common factor of 36 and 100. That is why I use it. 4 in number 2 is also the highest common factor of 31, of 124 and 10,000. If that doesn't mean when you are given your own question, 4 will always be the highest common factor. Make sure you are presenting your work correctly. Thank you. Number 3, we have 26 whole number 1 over 4. I told you the first thing you have to do when you have a mixed number and a mixed number presentation for percentage, like for this number 3, you have to convert the mixed number first of all to improper fraction. I hope we remember how we do this. I'm taking you through it. To convert a mixed number to improper fraction, we multiply the whole number, which is 26, by the denominator, which is 4, and we add the numerator to it. So 26 whole number 1 over 4 is 26 times 4 added to 1. 26 times 4 added to 1. That gives us 105 over 4. So when I have 26 whole number 1 over 4%, that means I have 105 over 4%. 105 rather over 4%, 105 over 4% simply means 105 over 4 out of 100. 105 over 4 divided by 100. Just the same way we have handled whole numbers and decimals. 105 over 4% means 105 over 4 divided by 100 over 1. This division sign, we have to convert to multiplication. We change to multiplication. Remember that when we change division sign to multiplication, the divisor fraction reverses. Here I have 105 divided by 100 over 1. By the time this division sign is changing to multiplication, 100 over 1 reverses and becomes 1 over 100, like I have right here. So I have 105 over 4 times 1 over 100. Numerator multiplying numerator, denominator multiplying denominator. I have 105 times 1, which equals 105, over 4 times 100, which equals 400. The highest common factor of 105 and 400 is 5. So 5 times 21 is 105. 5 times 80 is 400. 5 is divisible by 5. So 5 divides 5 just one time. So my lowest fraction here is 21 over 80. So the lowest common fraction presentation I have for the question 26 whole number 1 over 4% is 21 over 80. Please make sure you take your time to attend to your exercises on changing percentage to common fraction. Following these examples will really make them very easy for you. Let's proceed to the part B, that is the vice versa. The vice versa is taking common fractions to percentages. Conversion of common fractions to percentages. We follow this test. If the common fraction is a proper fraction, we simply multiply by 100 over 1. Step 2. If the common fraction we are given is in form of mixed numbers, we simply change the mixed numbers to improper fractions before multiplying by 100 over 1. After we have done this, we have to divide the numerators and the denominators we have by all common factors so that we can have our answers in the lowest term. Let's look at the examples available. Examples. Convert each of the following to a percentage. Number 1, 4 over 5. Number 2, 4 whole number 3 over 10. Let's work with these two examples. Solutions. Number 1, 4 over 5. 4 over 5 is a proper fraction. So, we are taking step 1. We are simply multiplying by 100 over 1. So 4 over 5 equals 4 over 5 times 100 over 1. 5 is a common factor to 5 and 100. 5 is common to 5 and 100. So I present 100 as a multiple of 5. So I have 4 over 5 times 5 times 20 over 1. 5 divides 5. I am left with 4 times 20 at the numerator, and at the denominator I'm left with 1 times 1. So 4 times 20 is 80%. Remember to put 80%. Remember to add that percentage symbol to your answer. If not, your answer won't be correct. Your answer won't be correct like that. Okay, number 2. We have 4 whole number 3 over 10. 4 whole number 3 over 10. The first step is to convert this mixed number to improper fraction. When we convert this mixed number to improper fraction, we have 43 over 10. So now we can multiply 43 over 10 by 100%. 43 over 10 multiplied by 100%. 10 is common to 10 and 100. So My 43 over 10 is presented as 43 over 1 times 10 times 100. My 100 is presented as 10 times 10, which is still 100. So 10 divides 10. At the numerator, I'm left with 43 times 10, which is 430%. At the denominator, I'm left with just 1 times 1. So I have 430% over 1, which is just 430%. I believe we have had a great time learning how to convert percentages to common fractions and common fractions to percentages. Let's make sure we work on our exercises. Take your time to practice. Mathematics is by practice. Practice gets you better. With practice, you are surer of yourself that you know how to go about it. So, we have two exercises. Number 1, A, B, C, D, E, and F. And number 2, A, B, and C. Make sure you take your time to practice till we meet next time for the correction of the exercises. Practice these exercises, get your textbook, get more exercise from your textbook. Keep working while you stay at home. Please stay at home, stay safe, maintain social distancing, wash your hands regularly with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Every washing of hands should be for a minimum of 20 seconds. Washing every part of your hands from your wrist to the tip of your fingernails, in between your finger, under running water. Use your hand sanitizers when there is no opportunity for hand washing. Use your hand sanitizers. Make sure you cover your mouth when coughing with a disposable tissue. While coughing or sneezing, cover your mouth with a disposable tissue, or cover your mouth with the corner of your elbow. Cover your mouth. Don't cover your mouth with your palm, so that you don't use your palm to rub your face or any part, or shaking somebody or holding an item to transmit it. Please, let's keep safe. Let's be safe till we meet again. Thank you very much. Bye for now.